Howdy, guys. 4:30 on the drive home now. Wayne, Tanya, and Brian all here. Well, we'll be in a second, actually. I kind of went ahead of time.
I'm like, oh, you kind of look like you're ahead.
I'm ahead.
Like way ahead.
We're sneaking in.
There you are.
We got a lot to discuss.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian.
We got it. We're ready.
Tanya's over here telling me, he's like, wow, he's killing time, and I'm not even looking at the clock.
Well, and then when you said,
roll.
then when you said, I'm like, wait, okay, the second hand is way off.
It is. Very good. We have some guests from St. Anthony Memorial Hospital with us today. And tell us who you are.
My name is Caitlin Sudkamp. I am a physical therapist assistant. I've been working with HSHS for about 8 years.
Awesome. And also?
John Lanko. I was here the other day. I'm a physical therapist assistant as well with St. Anthony's. About 6.5 years in at this point.
All righty.
All right. Now that we got the introductions out of the way,
Yeah.
The question I am like dying to know, what is Dartfish?
So Dartfish is a new type of software that we use with our patients. It's used in collaboration with a high-definition camera. So what it allows us to do is to really break down the movement patterns of patients and really get specific with them in their treatment plans. The camera that we use is very high def, so it's about 60 frames per second.
Wow.
So it's really neat. Whenever a patient really is having trouble with those movement patterns, we can videotape them and break it down frame by frame by frame. So what's missed by the naked eye can actually be caught by the camera, and we can really show the patient kind of what they're missing. And it's nice.
People don't understand it. You're talking 60 frames per second.
Per second, yes,
yeah.
per second.
So every second it's grabbing 60 frames.
Exactly, yes. So
60 pictures, yeah.
60 pictures, yes. So super duper specific. So, when patients are, like I said, really looking for specific, we can really break it down and kind of find out where the movement patterns, where the dysfunction lies. It just kind of helps us improve movements a little bit better.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Wow.
All right.
I didn't realize that. Now, where is it used?
So it's actually used a lot, like a lot of Olympic athletes. A lot of Olympic athletes are using it to train with, since they're looking for really specific things. Like your professional athletes are going to be using it as well. Talking about like the Super Bowl, I can guarantee you that the football players are going to be using Dartfish software to help with those movement patterns. Also, like the military is using it as well too. They may not be using it exactly as what we're using it for, but yeah, they're also using it as well. So pretty much anybody can benefit from it that needs to have those movement patterns evaluated. So, we could use it from anywhere from like a 5-year-old patient who just got braces on their legs and are looking to see how they can improve that, all the way up to like a 95-year-old who is looking to improve their balance and improve their walking pattern. A huge plethora of patients that can benefit from using this.
So my golf swing is terrible. Can you help me with that?
Perfect. Yes,
Very good.
Yes, we love using it with golfers. It's nice because, the swing, you come in and you're like, yeah, I have shoulder pain, but I'm not really sure where that shoulder pain is coming from. I just know whenever I swing and at this phase, it seems like this is where my pain is really happening. So we can videotape that and actually break that down, the 60 frames per second, and actually get very specific on where it's at. We can mark different angles at it to make sure that the angles are where they need to be for the specific patterns, and make sure that they lie where they need to be, and really kind of tailor it to the patient to make sure that it's more isolated, and that way the patient's in and out a lot quicker with their treatment plan.
Not only that, hang on. So with that, you also are looking at, that's something that we can hand off if they're maybe out here at the country club and they're dealing with one of the golf pros. We can actually hand that video off to them as well. So while we may not be, I'm certainly not up on golf 100%, we can still hand it off to them so they can actually take it out of there. If we've got their pain better, great, but they also may be able to use that video to even drive forward and think about, let's extend our drive out here. Let's get another 20 yards out of this. Yeah. When that's actually looked at by that golf pro, they're going to be able to say even more probably than what we can. We're specific. Caitlin and I are both we like the runners. We definitely like cyclists, but you can use it for any type of movement pattern, whether it be sports or even just doing a simple sit to stand from a chair, just to be able to show patients this is how you get better with it.
I was going to say the applications for this are just enormous.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
It's huge. Yes, it's huge. Yeah, I mean, like he was saying, like the patients that we can use it for, I mean, it's pretty much anybody that's moving. So, I mean, you think about patients coming into physical therapy. I mean, that's, 95% of our patients, like they're doing some sort of movement pattern when they're coming in. So it's just an addition to therapy, like I was saying earlier, to get them in quicker and get them out a little bit quicker too as well, so they're not there for a lengthy period of time.
Awesome.
John, you brought up a good point. You mentioned these activities, but if somebody, say, you mentioned cycling, how do you get a video of someone cycling in your facility?
Yep. So basically on that, what we can do is we can either bring in a trainer. Like you see a lot of people use a rear wheel trainer in the wintertime like this. You're obviously not going outside a lot of times during this weather. I also have a set of rollers that I ride on at home. So I've offered to bring that in for patients as well. And again, you just put them in that stationary mode. Now, I like the rollers because it actually makes where you're getting that full body movement like you would on the road.
Yeah.
And therefore, again, we can get that good video and slow it down. You can break it down and see the entire pedal stroke and really get a good feel for this is where I see a place that we can improve or we can reduce pain, whatever the case may be.
That is a big thing, especially for biking. Yeah, you want that full stroke, the full optimization, the seat a certain height. All those things are pretty important if you're going to get into it very much.
Exactly. And myself, I ride quite a bit. I enjoy that. So again, that's another kind of passion where we get into, like I say, Caitlin's done a half marathon before, so we understand some of these underlying problems. We've also got a swimmer in-house. We've got different things like that. So we can definitely tailor to a lot of different athletes, but even more so, again, that functional patient where they're just looking to make their normal everyday lives better.
Very cool.
Now, how long do you go on some of the clips? I mean, you're talking like 10 seconds, 4 minutes. What's a reasonable amount of time that you need to video it?
So it really depends per patient, what kind of patient you have. I mean, you could go anywhere from 10 seconds all the way up to, 10 minutes, depending on the patient. Like if you're just needing it for a small feedback, like let's say for a basic squat or from a sit to stand, you may only need it for a minute, just so that patient can get that feedback from that video. Like if you have a runner that's coming in, whenever we do a running analysis for a patient, I mean, it may take 10 minutes because we really want to make sure we get each, different angle of that gait cycle so we can really be specific on it and make sure that we have those angles correct on that. So, yeah, it just depends per patient how long that we're using it for.
Very good.
All right, good options.
Awesome. If somebody is out there and they're listening to this and they're in pain when they're in motion, I guess that would be a good way to put it. What would be the first step for them to get to you guys to maybe get this looked at?
Sure. So there's a couple different options. So the most common and the most basic one is, let's say somebody's having generic knee pain. The easiest way is just to go to their primary care provider, get an order for physical therapy, and then come in and be evaluated by one of our therapists. Whenever they come in, they can mention that they want Dartfish, and they heard about it. They're like, "Yeah, this is cool. Can we try this?" Sure, absolutely. If not, we're probably going to incorporate it anyways into their therapy. Just getting a script. We are a direct access state, so technically patients can come in and see us. The only problem with that is it may not be covered by insurance, but they still can come and see us without a doctor's referral. We also just started as well running assessments. So patients don't even have to have a referral to do a running assessment. It's a one-time thing. It's $120 where they can just schedule the day of if they want to. They come in, they see us for an hour, and we do a really specific treatment plan with them. So whenever the runner comes in, we get them on the treadmill. Like I was saying earlier, we videotape at different angles, make sure that those angles are where they need to be. I go over treatment options, I give them specific stretching, all that stuff. And then in about a week, I will follow up with them. During that week time, I will go back to the video. I will make markings on the video, making sure that their angles are where they need to be at different phases of the gait cycle. And then when they come back, I will give that to them and I will go over that with them. I'll make sure that all of what we talked about last time, everything looks good, they feel comfortable with it. And then if they have any questions, then we go over that as well. But those are pretty much the main treatment options, though, with it.
Awesome.
That's great.
And really, if you're looking to either maybe not involve your insurance or just pay for it, $120 really isn't that bad for this.
Yeah.
For this kind of thing. I mean, this detail of a service, that's pretty good.
That's high tech.
Yeah, no kidding.
We have to ask you though, is there a significance to the name Dartfish? Obviously, it's the name of the software. That's like somebody's last name at the company.
No, I don't think so. I think this was just it was kind of a fun way for them to be able to do, and they have a nice logo that goes along with it. So that's kind of their way of standing out from the crowd. Let's put it that way.
It does, no doubt.
Very good. All right, again, if they want to get started with you guys, number to call?
217-347-1243.
Very good. Caitlin, John, thanks guys so much for coming in.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank
We
you.
Explaining
appreciate it.
Dartfish. Now we
Thank
know what
you.
it is.
I know.
Yeah.
What it is.
I know.
Yeah.